one more thing. I really wanted to take care of that ground. So what I'm going to do, because I should have did it in the initial video and I didn't. I want this green to be a very light green, a kind of bright yellow green. Okay, so I'm really packing on the yellow. Still a filbert brush. What I'm going to do is coat all of this. Now the tape, I removed the tape and I put a little bit past the border because I want some of the unevenness of the grass to show through that dark like that. But I'm just going to tap away because I did not highlight the ground in any type of dark. Alright. I'm just going to tap away here. All in through here. This makes a pretty cool foundation color. Okay. And now I'm going to take nothing but a little yellow. Okay. I'm just going to use the tip of the brush to get some of that, just where the tape meets, a little bit of highlight here and there. And now, just painting in with just a pure yellow. And I'm using the texture of the filbert brush itself. You see like the little striations of straight line. That's basically all I'm doing. I don't even want it dark toward where we are, the foreground. I don't even want that dark. If I feel that it needs to be, we'll add that later, but right now I don't think so. Okay. And I'm adding a little bit of white to my light green mixture. I want it even lighter. But I'm not going to color all of, paint all of that in like that. Just in spots. Around here, on the edges here, all in here. I'm going to use almost a very bright white right around the edge. Half on the tape, half on the ground itself. A nice straight line. Half on the tape, half on the ground itself. You'll see why in a second. And maybe some bright green patches here and there. Maybe around the edge of the house here, on the side. Now maybe in the back here, we can darken that up a little bit. And I'm just adding a little blue. Right beyond, right here. Be an interesting little shadow pattern back there. Okay. Maybe, just maybe, a few bits and pieces right here on the corner. I just don't want it too far in. Just like that. Alright? Let's peel that tape back. There you go. You get beside you. You see where I'm going with this already? See? Even though it's dark, but it's not overpowering dark. Alright? And there's a reason for that. This cottage is a deep, dark, brownish color. Especially around the roof area. The outside area, sunlit, is kind of golden. But all of this is dark brown. Dark brown. Remember, you got shadows of the leaves and everything, so it's going to be set in there pretty good. So what you need now is the reverse. You need all the light to single out the dark here. Okay? You follow me? So with the light framed here, with the light on the grass a little bit, it's going to frame in this guy. Okay? And with the glow and everything, look all mystical and all the other mushy stuff. But I just really wanted to show that part of it before we move on to the house itself. Okay, carry on. Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to have a little fun. Okay, I'm going to deal with some smaller brushes. I'm going to start on this little this well. So what I'll do is I'll zoom in on the well here. Bring the camera down a little bit so you can see it. A little bit more. Zoom right in on that well. Okay. There's little things about the well here that little details and such. So I'm going to dip into a little bit of customary blue and red. When I say blue and red, it's the cad red and the phthalo blue, pretty dark colors. Okay, and I'm going to, where the pencil lines are, keep it pretty dark. This is just pure thick paint. Okay, that's all it is. I pretty much know where the shadows are going to be. I got my Android over there on top of the player. I can just check out exactly where all the dark shadows are going to be on this well. I'm just dipping a tip of water onto the brush, loosen up some of the paint just a tad. I use pretty thick paint, so all it takes is like a little micro drop of water just to loosen it up a bit. I'm just taking a look at where the darks are. Okay. And I'm going right along the sides of where the darks are going to be represented. And that's about it. That's all I'm doing. So I want to really get in all the darks, even on this little guy, the well here. Now down here is like a little cast shadow, probably from the house itself, but I can also put any other little object in there to represent that cast shadow. I'm using an angled flat brush. That's all I'm using. Okay. Looks like I'm just using a little bit of the dark to angled flat brush. And I zoomed in. Let me see if I can give you a good picture of it here. There we are. This guy right here. Okay. That's what I'm using. The roof, this top part, is pretty dark. And so what I'm going to do is gently, from the top, it's just like almost a dry brush stroke. Just like that, right along the edge here. Like I say, it's representing the shadow of the house that you really can't see right now. Okay. The part that you see left, excuse me, is actually the dark brown of the beams. Okay, I'm just draining off the brush. I'm dipping into my, I do actually have brown. I'm just going to use this brown here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use a little bit of brown and just a slight touch of blue into the brown to darken it up a little bit, but it still maintains that brown color. Okay, And I'm going to use nothing but the pure paint itself. It's a little thick, but it's okay. And now, I'll start on this top edge of this guy and just tap. All I'm doing is tapping along the outside part here. Just tap. And I'm not going to allow any of this white to appear. Now this has got a Y-beam right here. It's going straight up. And it angles right here, like so. Okay, just like that. Now the dark, or the missing, the patches that you see that's missing in there, it's actually more dark. So I'm going to dip back into my color, the darker color, and just fill that in. Just like so. Okay. If I really don't want any of the white to show through. Down below here, it's a kind of a light tannish mix. So I'm going to get into my brown, get some yellow, mix it in there to a color that I like, and keeping with the angle of the well, just like so. As you can see, the little bit of the streaks, that's fine, because it can also be the grain of the material the well is made out of. Now I'm taking some of the dark mix, mixing it right into the brown, and that will represent my shadow. Right in there, just like that. Just a little bit of it here and there. Maybe a little bit on the top here. Right on the top. Okay, just like that. Now, once I put little rocks or whatever I want to put up and around there, it would make more sense to you. Okay. Let me angle this. There we go. Now, I think the light might be hitting it on it a little funny because it looks kind of, I think it's also because it's wet. Because what it looks like for me and what it looks like on the camera is two different things. Okay, I want to get a little bit of that out of there. Alright, and that is that. Now, if I want to highlight some of that wood, just a tad, I will just add a couple of little highlights here and there. Maybe even here I'll just tap on a little bit for the frame itself, just to show a little bit of the front structure of it, like that. Okay. And as that evaporates, the color deepens, and it'll blend right in there. All right. I want to put a little more deeper dark within just the top part here, up around here, just in the inside there. Give it the appearance of an opening in the top. just like so. Alright. Now I'm going to push back. A little bit more. Of course, I'm not on the carpet, so if I try to turn this camera, the whole thing turns. So I'm going to have to grip it. There. I want to straighten it out a little bit. I got the brush in my mouth. Okay. See, you still have the angle. I don't like the angle there. I want to try to keep it as straight as I can. We're going to move on to the house here. Now, the house basically is, the cottage rather, is white. But I don't want to keep it such a stark white. There's a lot of outside boards and stuff that we'll get to on it. Okay. But I don't want to keep this like a bleached, kind of a bleached white at all. So what we're going to do is take some white paint, a little bit, just a little bit of that brown mixture, and some water, and make a glaze. It will be a kind of off white, yellow brownish mixture. I'm not going to cover the whole thing, just in bits and pieces. Just like so. Get a little more water. Get some more of the brown color, mix in a little bit. Just in certain spots, really. Not the whole thing. Maybe here on the bottom. There's going to be detail and other types of stuff going on with this, so I'm not really too concerned about how it's looking right now. It all makes sense once the more details are placed on top of it. On the shallow side, it's a little on the bluish end of things, but still trying to maintain the whitish appearance. Okay, it is the shadow side. And I will paint it as such. I know the paint's running down, but that's fine. It actually could be even work for me. Okay, all in here. Okay, and just let it do what it's doing. Let it run down. Let it do, believe me, it'll all work for you. I'm going to keep it pretty much just like that. Okay, maybe some up in here. Now, if you notice, I have X's in certain areas. Alright, that would represent black or a dark area. That's what those X's mean. They do it a lot in it. They do it a lot in comic art. The X would just represent the dark areas. Okay, and there's a few. And what I'm going to do with that is mix more red with the blue, cad red with the phthalo blue. I'm going to get a little bit of brown in there too. Get it really dark. Now it's an extremely dry paint that I just mixed. I'm just taking a little water just to loosen it up. Okay, and right in here is the dark area. Get a little bit more water. I only do the water in very small increments because I want the same viscosity or thickness of paint all the way down. And I'm just going to keep heading down with it. only where the X's are. No more, no less. If I have to use the corner of the brush. I want artists that don't tend to like to use a lot of the brushes. But if it helps you to use a smaller brush to get into smaller areas, if it works for you, go for it. There's no patented way on how to paint. Some people's procedures might be a little more useful for your style of painting than others. And if you can use that to help you out, go for it. It's all about technique. Some people's techniques work a lot better than others for other people. Different strokes for different folks. Follow me? I've never been one of those, only this technique will work or it will fail type of thing. Not when it comes to like laying down color or I don't know, laying down color, getting a certain pattern right. If the technique works, but if you're right-handed or left-handed and you have to alter just a little bit just to get it to work for you, then by all means. I'm left-handed. The majority of artists that I've seen are right-handed. There's a few lefties, but not many. Okay, so of course I'd had to really alter some of the things that I've done. Okay, I'm going on the side part of the house, and I'm going to add, as you can see, a little bit of the dark on this side of the house here. Okay, just like that. Okay. Now, like I said, where the X's are, it's definitely dark. That's definitely where you want to keep your, keep it true to form as best as you can. Like I say, I really don't like to use solid black. I don't have black on my palette right now either. And I will more than likely will not. I will work with this deep blue, purple mix, red mix. And as it dries, it will appear black compared to the colors surrounding it. Because if you make this your darkest color, when it's all said and done, it will appear black compared to the lighter colors around it. And if you did use black, black would be so stark and so blatant, it would kind of offset the color harmony of the rest of the painting. Okay? And believe me. And from your camera vantage point anyway, from where you are, it appears black anyway, and it really isn't. Okay. Excuse me. Now, I'm going to work on this the outside edge of the house here. It's like a yellow, greenish, golden mix. And what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to get a little bit of brown. Going back into the brown. Find me a nice spot here. Get some yellow in with it. It's an odd type of yellow brownish kind of mix to it. I do have plenty on my brush, and I'm going to lay down the first layer of this color. And what I'm going to do is draw or paint, not draw, on the outside, a little on the outside of my, which was the taped area. Turning the brush over, still doing it, and I'm adding a little curve action to it also. Just getting a little more paint going on the other side. I'm going to do the same thing here, just a little curve here and there. And as I come back, I'm going to come back with with this. I'll go back over it. But I'll probably dry brush some highlights and such. There you go. Like I say, as the color settles in, there's a part of it down there that I gotta get. But I'm gonna use the corner of the brush on this. Sorry if it's in the way. Just like so. Okay. Now, if the edges are a little rough on the corners, that's fine. It is a cottage, and you know, they're using all sorts of materials that kind of fray and come apart. You know, the older the cottage gets, and it adds a little character to your work. Alright, I'm gonna let it set just like that. If you ever want to lighten up a color that you have, just use that color in white. Okay. Now I got a little bit of this greenish brown mixed into it because I don't want it totally white. But I'm only going to go on the edge. Just a little bit here and there on the outside edge. Maybe even cover up a little bit. Just like that. One of the hazards of being a lefty is that sometimes if you're not thinking, you'll go over what you've painted on the right hand side, or the left hand side, excuse me. I'm just going over again some of the bright areas. Okay. Not too much of the shading, the light shading, not too much of it on the other side here, but it is a little darker because all this area here is going to be fairly dark. Matter of fact, I'm going to glaze it, and then I'm going to dry brush the patterns on it. But before I do that, I still got some of this lighter stuff here, and I'll just go maybe here and there. Just rub a little bit on. Something like that. That's all I need. All by itself. No more than that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to cleaning the brush off. Okay. I want to add just a little bit of that darkness. Just a little bit. I am rubbing into the dark color that I have previously laid on here. I'm stroking in a little brown with it. It's like a little brownish blue glaze here. And just in certain areas, especially here, around the edge, I want it particularly dark. I'm just getting into more of that color. This is actually a glaze. It's not really all paint, but I'm just getting a little color with the water. Okay, and that's all I want to do. All up around there. Still maintain the color, but obviously it's a little shadow trying to creep through on that side. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is get a nice mix of the phthalo blue. I'm going into the brown with the phthalo blue. Okay. I'm dipping right into phthalo blue and it's brown. Now what I'm going to do is water it a little bit. I'm going to get a nice glaze over the roof area here. I'm going to take a good closer look at it here. I got the kind of phone that to zoom in the picture, you gotta use both hands. Of course, I got my here we go. there's a part in this that's light, and I don't want to wreck that light area. It's like right around here. And it loops around here, like so. That part, stay away from. But all the rest is up for grabs. Like I said, I'm getting a little water. I'm going to mix it in. I want a slight glaze on the top. I'll start from here, going down, around and away. Okay. And then I'm going to take it just like so. Same thing up here. Just let it, I'm just dipping into the water. Need more water than the paint. Up here, press, go down, straight down. Just like this. I'm going to dip into more water. I'm going to let that, see this paint that I have up here? Still wet. All you got to do is use the water and pull it right down. All in there. All the shadow. Okay. The shadow part there, what you're looking at, I'm going to leave. Now when I add the other color mixture on this, I'll probably add a little white to make it a little opaque and cover up some of the streaks of the shadow here in the house, or cottage, whatever you want to call it. It's actually a cottage. Okay. There. Just like so. Up here it's a lighter color of that brown, which is why I didn't cover all of it like that. If you want, the chimney part here is a stark darkness right there. Right in there. And I'm going to just lift up, go across, go across. It's a different color altogether up there. And now when I get to the lighter side, it'll be closer to that brown color up there. I hope you can see that, what I did there. You should be able to. Yeah, you got it. Right up there. When it's on the sunlit side, it'll be a different color altogether. Okay. Now let's work on some more of that brown there. I'm getting some of this brown. I'm going to lighten everything up again. Some of the yellow. Mix it in with the brown. More yellow. Now if I ended up adding white to this, it'd be extremely opaque. I don't want to cover all of it. Okay. And what I'm going to do is a little dry brushing all on this. It's going to mix in with that dark color. Okay. And I did not add white. I decided not to add white because white will make it opaque. I'm going to go over here on the clear part right here and just paint that red in. Okay, just like so. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. But right now, I'm going to, let's see what we got. Alright. As a matter of fact, wait a minute. Let me do this. But I got some of this light on here. I'm just lightened up the yellow. I'm going to add the frame of the other part of the cottage. I'm going to do that right now, right here. Just like so. The more I'm stroking on it, the more the underlying darker color from the brush is coming through. So I got a little bit of the bright yellow and the darker undertone color. I still want to get a little bit of the darkness from the shadow coming across here and there, just like that. Okay, now I can go ahead and mess with this. Now what I'm going to do, going with the direction of the house, the slant of the roof, I'm going to take my brush very lightly and just take it just with the direction of the roof and just keep going. Now I'm working on paper, the 2-ply Bristol. I'm going straight down, go straight down, and keep going. Keep going. If you have to turn the brush over, turn the brush over. But go in that direction. Same stroke pattern. Straight downward. Use more of the flat edge. That's all I'm doing is going straight down. I'm going to get a little more of the paint. And still moving straight down. Keeping in the direction of, there we go, in the direction of the roof. All in here, down here in the bottom. Just like so. Okay. Now, heater just kicked in, so I'll speak up a little more. Got this shading, this coloration in here. Okay, I'm just going to get a little bit of water. And in here, because the light is hitting off of this, get a little more water. There we go. As that dries, it'll settle in. If I choose to put some highlights on it, I am. Now when you do like an underpainting like this, it's not the most attractive looking thing. You got to be accustomed to that too. Okay, get used to it. But you can always go back over it. Hashtag don't panic. When I used to have paintings that looked like this in the beginning, I mean, I would just lose all sorts of hope, lose all sorts of faith. It would just be crazy. But you wouldn't need to do that. I'm going right over that blue. Because if I just looked at the picture, it's nothing but shadow anyway. So go over the blue, it'll appear a dark, well, the darker representation of it. Since brown is in this color of blue. There you go. Okay. Now, if I want to lighten that up, I'll use a little bit of yellow, and probably a little bit of yellow and brown, and just dry brush and lighten it up a little bit, if I choose to do so. But right now, I'm going to move on to the side part of the cottage here, which is a little bit on the yellow, whitish yellow side. It is in shadow. Okay. As a matter of fact, let me lighten that up. I'll add a little, if I can get some out of here. Might have to dip in some more white. Get a little water. just on the underneath side here, all in there, just a little bit. Just a little bit on the side in there. All right. As you can see, the interesting patterns it made when it dried. All right, and I'm going to keep that. All right. I'm going to use this yellow that's on the brush right in here in the sun area here. The sun picks it up a little bit. Use a little more yellow. I'm going to just dry brush some streaks on there, like so. Get some more right on the top here. If it's not bright enough, now because I'm not using white mixed in with this yellow. The yellow will settle into the underneath that color underneath, and you'll be fine. But I want it to brighten up on that side just a little bit. Same thing up here. Right up around here, same thing. Just a little bit, right on the top. Right, it'll settle in, you'll be fine. Now the paint on the opposite side, on the right side here, just brighten it up a little bit on that side. A little bit underneath, not all of it, just underneath over here. See some of that white that I put on below before it catches it. All right. Just like so. Okay. And remember, I still have the glow to put on that side. Okay. Now I want it maybe a little bit on the blue tinge. I'm just cleaning off the brush as I'm looking at it. I'm going to keep a little more water on the brush. Just a little, slight little bit of blue, which might turn some of this green. I just want a little glaze, just right over here. Just to darken it up just a little bit. I want to get to that side over there, that other part of the chimney here. Right at an angle. It is the sunlit side. Okay. I'm going to use a little dark brown. I want to go underneath where the shadow is. The sunlight's not quite hitting it right in that part of the chimney. I'm going to go right along with it, right on top of that dark blue on the other side. Just like so. Keep it just like that. Okay. There's little stacks on top of that chimney. Take a little bit of brown, a little bit of blue. There's two of them. One about here. And another one, oh, maybe approximately right there. Just like that. Okay. What else? I think I got all the other stuff. Nothing but a tree here, just fences and all that good stuff. All of this is very intricate woodwork, wood paneling, type of deal that's in there. Window frames, the whole 9 yards. I still have my projector, and I can use the projector. I never moved the projector. All I gotta do is turn it on and put it right back to the house. And I can take the window frames, the woodwork, put it all on here, draw it, and continue on. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. A lot of commercial artists, advertising artists, pretty much do the same type of thing. Once you get the initial picture on here, the coloration, how you want to color it, how you want to fade it in, is entirely up to you at that point. After that point, okay? So whatever you want to do, I'm just adding some downward streaks here because it's just the shadow side, just in that area of the roof. That's all I'm doing. Maybe a little bit of more brown shadow in here. That's all I'm doing. It's giving it some darker texture here and there. All dry brush. Okay. Just in certain spots, I just want a little darker tone, a little deeper in here. That's about it. And then we'll work from there. So I'll be right back.